Hi everyone, it's me Leslie here with another video. Thank you so much for watching my video and thank you so much for subscribing. Today I'm doing a storytime discussion to talk a little bit about how chivalry is not dead. So recently I was at a local hardware store and I needed to get a couple of things for our backyard. My husband and I are doing a little work in the backyard and we needed a 2x2x8 foot board for something we were doing in the backyard. And I found the boards, and it was like a stack of 6 to 8 boards together, tied with like a Velcro tie. And while I was undoing these ties in order to get just one board out, somebody called to me from across the hardware store. They were about 20 feet away, and they called out to me saying, "Hey, do you need some help with that?" And I said, "No, I'm fine, thank you." And then the person walked a little bit closer and they looked bothered and they said to me, "I hope I didn't offend you. Um, I'm sorry." I said, "No, you're not offending me. I just don't need help. But thank you so much for asking." And then they walked a couple more steps. They walked a couple more steps closer, and then they said, recently someone cussed me out for offering to open the door for them. And I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm sorry to hear that." And the person said, "I guess chivalry is dead." And I felt really bad for this person because they obviously just wanted to be helpful and courteous. And I said to the person, I said, that person that you tried to help must have had a problem, because all you're trying to do is help, and there's nothing wrong with helping, and please don't stop trying to help people. And they said thank you. The person said thank you and walked away. And that brief conversation stuck with me throughout this past week because I felt so bad for the person. They seemed so bothered that somebody didn't want their help. The person basically cussed them out for offering help. And I truly believe it when I say the person must have had a serious problem, because if someone, male or female, is trying to help you, if you look like you could be in a situation that you need help, I don't see why that would require somebody to tell them off or cuss them out. I mean, if you don't want the help, you could just say no. No, thank you. I've got it. There's nothing wrong with saying no. There's nothing wrong with saying no, thank you. There's nothing wrong with saying, "Oh, I'm fine. I've got this." And I remember not that long ago, or I think it was about a year ago, I was moving the biggest sandbox ever. I purchased a big pirate ship sandbox for my girls. It was on a big sale. It was like $40, and it's normally like a $200 sandbox, and I was super excited to get it, but it was huge. And it was hard to pick it up. It was difficult to put it in the basket. It was difficult to put it in the car. It was difficult to set up. But ultimately, after my husband set it up for us, we realized after he set it up, it was missing some vital boards to complete this sandbox. It was a defective box of materials to make this sandbox. So ultimately, we had to disassemble the sandbox, and I had to return it to the store. And it was a big hassle. But what was so amazing about the situation was that when I was purchasing this sandbox, a couple of women ran to help me put this sandbox into my basket. And when I was returning the item, a couple of women ran to help me to get it into the store in order to return it. And neither time did I complain. And both times that people tried to help me, I was grateful. And I think a lot of times when people are trying to be chivalrous, and another word for chivalrous is courteous. And another word for being courteous is being polite. And another word for chivalry is being helpful. and in my opinion. Ultimately, it is a person in the modern day, this modern day and age. I think it's another word for wanting to help another person. And when a person is offering help, they are ultimately showing care and concern for their fellow human. And showing care and concern is also, if you think about it a little bit deeper, it's also showing love for your fellow human. And there's nothing wrong with that. And in conclusion, whether we need the help or not, there are polite ways to say yes, please, or no, thank you. And if we need help from someone around us and they're not offering it, we don't have to be rude about that either. We can voice what we need. We can say, is there anyone who can please help me with whatever I'm doing here at the moment? And in a world where people can seem so cold to one another, if someone is offering a kind gesture, even if we don't need it, it's important to try to respond with some grace and politeness. No, thank you. Or yes, please. Because it's important to not make the person offering the help, the chivalry, the courteousness, the courtesy. It's important to not discourage people from offering their help and their goodwill. In a world that can be so cold, be kind to those offering some kindness and some goodwill towards others. So that's where I'll end this video today. Thank you so much for watching my video, and until next time, bye.